Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Zach Gray. You may be watching this on replay. I don't know if 11 o'clock is a good time. Maybe we need to do these at 5 p.m. But comment below on this video when you see it posted. I'll post it in the community, and then I'll also put it in the classroom so that people can watch it on replay there anytime they want, so it doesn't get buried in a post. Oh, Michael Goodman is coming on. I'm excited. This is going to be great. We're going to have a bunch of people coming on, hopefully, to all come share and hang out. And yeah, this is going to be awesome. So, with the plan that I have for Skool, meaning the payment plan that I use for Skool, I can't do a webinar broadcast. It's just like a community broadcast. When people log on, you'll kind of hop on like this, which is totally cool. Let's see, I think I can do this. Cool. So I'm really excited. Michael, thanks for being here, my friend. Hopefully some more people join us. So like I was saying, I don't know if this is a good time to host live events. If it's not, comment below and let me know when a good time is. Obviously, my goal is to create super valuable content, whether you come on live, if there's 2 people here, if there's 100 people here, if people watch it in replay, that's totally fine. My goal is to create great content. And while I'm creating this content on the post or while we're in the live here, you can ask any questions that you want, comment. There's a chat box over there to your right, I believe, and you can chat there. Oh, Don is here. Hello, Don. I'm so excited you're here. Yay,
Hello,
coming
Zach.
on. This is beautiful.
I
All
miss
right, so
you.
yeah, I miss you too. This is great. All right. So what I want to do is I want to be very cognizant of people's time. So what I'm going to do in the beginning, even though I think I had said this already, with the account that I have for Skool, it's like a big classroom. Later on, I'll have maybe a webinar version, so it'll be just me talking, and then you can comment or whatever. But if you join, it'll pop on like this, and you can sort of turn your camera on or off if you want, but it'll just sort of like this, like more people will jump on, and it'll just pop everybody up on the screen, which is cool. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the 20 or so minutes of content that I have, then we can answer any questions that anybody may have, and then we'll wrap so that if anybody's watching this in replay, they get the content, then they get the conversation if they want to see it, and then they can see what else we may have going on. And there's my great friend, Michael. So excited you guys are here. Okay, so let's jump into the content, and then we're going to come back for a little Q&A. And if it's the 3 of us, great. Maybe there'll be 100 people that watch and replay. We've got now 135 students that have now joined Skool, which I'm excited about. My goal is to just keep growing this bad boy, keep it free, and just have it be super accessible to a ton of people. So if, by the way, if you have one task, 1, obviously learn stuff. That's killer. 2, tell a friend. So share it. It's free. Skool is going to be free. My Light School is going to be free. I'm going to keep it free so that I can help as many people as possible, which I'm thrilled to do. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to jump into the content for today. And this is going to be great. And I think, yeah, you guys will be down there at the bottom with me. This is cool. All right, here we go. Give me a comment too. Oops. Oh, that wasn't good. I don't know why I did that. Hang on. Let me stop sharing my screen here. This is the first time I've used this new feature of Skool. Looked like it kicked me out when I went full screen, so I may not be able to do that. So here's what I can do is I'll just leave my presenter notes up here. Well, let's see. Hang on. Let's not do that. Technical challenges. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Bingo. And I think we can actually get rid of the view presenter notes. We'll get rid of those. Try to make this as big as possible. Next time, I guess I'm going to do this in a PDF because when I go to share screens and press play on a keynote, it kicks me out, which is not cool. But that can happen sometimes. You know, you never know with these technology pieces. You know what I can actually do really quick here? This actually won't be hard. I'm going to export this to a PDF because it's just going to look better when you guys get to see it. It's going to look way better for you. And it's pretty darn fast to export a PDF here. So let's do that. Let's open it up. And then we should be able to share that as a big, beautiful, there we go. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to share my screen one more time. Much better. Okay, Welcome to Light School Live, everybody. I'm thrilled that you're here, and we are going to dive right into quality light and finding quality light. But before we do that, for those of you that may not know me super well and why I do any of the things that I do, this is my very first coaching client that I worked with one-on-one in person. So I've done workshops quite a bit. Dawn has been to one of my workshops. Michael's been to one of my workshops. Um, did some online coaching, but I'd never worked one on one with anybody to really invest in their business. And I know some of you out there are operators. I call them operators, people that are trying to build and grow their business out of this. And some people are just explorers. They just want to learn how to take amazing pictures and shoot awesome photos. And that's great. Everybody, both of those are welcome. But for the operators out there, I had a big passion for them very early on. Once my business started to work in 2008 and I was making six figures doing photography, I just wanted to help people. So Luke and Kat flew from Texas to my house in Nashville, Tennessee, and they came and sat with us. They paid us quite a bit of money for that time, about $5,000, and we just did a 1 day of coaching. And what happened was amazing, which was they had made $1,100 that year prior, 2011. They had made $1,100. And then we built them a whole plan. And the next year they made 174,000. The next year after that, they made 450,000, and they've made a multiple six figures every single year since then, doing the thing that they love to do out on their little farm in Texas. And what's beautiful about that is that really inspired me to really want to dive in and help people at the highest level I possibly could. And I've been doing that ever since then. So this is a sort of the new version of that, this free version where I get to take all this great content I've created over the years, put it out here for free for you guys to use. And what's beautiful about this is there's the opportunity to, watch and learn. And then I'm making one little unique area where people can come and learn in person and we can engage with each other in a completely different way. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So let's dive right in. Okay. Finding quality light. Where do we find quality light? How do we get it? How do we capture it into our cameras so our photos look sensationally beautiful? How the heck do we do this? That is the big question that everybody wants to know, right? How do we do it? Okay, let's look at some photos first. So if I'm out on location, if I'm shooting at any time, if I'm going to take a photo, take take out the equation of comfort for my clients and prepping and shooting at the right time of day or all that stuff. From a photography perspective, what am I trying to accomplish first? And it's finding great light. Because if I don't have good light, I don't have good photos. If I don't have great light, even if there's great content in front of me, it's not going to look good. If I don't have great light, it's not going to flatter my subject. If I don't have great light, it's not going to be interesting. If I don't have great light, I'm going to edit the daylights out of these photos later. If anybody's ever been in that terrible position, trying to fix a problem that we made with light, it sucks. So if you've ever been out shooting with me, if you've ever seen me shoot, if I'm in natural light, I got my hand out, I'm looking at the palm of my hand, I'm looking around for where's the soft, pretty light. I'm going to talk about that too, soft versus hard light, and why I prefer one over the other. Well, let's look through some photos just from my portfolio so you can see from natural light, reception lighting flash, to hardcore off camera flash with multiple lights, beautiful backlit natural sunlight, doing commercial work or stuff for magazines that I've done, shooting on location for content videos like with Westcott that I did for a decade, finding amazing natural light for a massive group of people for a wedding that I shot last year for a famous celebrity's kid. And man, I love this photo. It has such a lot of personalities going on in this one. Beautiful images of the bride and groom, studio work for an apparel company that wants hero photos for their social media platform, workshops and teaching people how to mimic sunset lighting. That's a fake sunset, believe it or not. Well, it's half fake. It's not all fake. On location shooting like this, real wedding photography, but where I want to create like an album cover for some of the guys that are just super cool and wanted a cool photo like this of the brothers together, and just beautiful other types of light that we photograph. So, hard versus soft light. The image here on the left is a hard light photo, and the image on the right is soft light. The easiest thing to remember with hard and soft light, I actually have, oh, look at this. I got a light right here. Pretty. Hard light is simply a small light source or small in comparison to you. Okay. The smaller it is in comparison to you, the harder those shadows are. The brighter the highlights, the harsher the shadows, and the more defined that line is going to become. Okay. The larger the light source in comparison to you creates that soft light. So both of these images are exposed the same and edited the same. There's no difference in editing. Look at her skin on the hard light photo. Look at her skin on the soft light photo. Why does it look like she has more makeup on and it's retouched on the soft light photo, even though I didn't do that? Because the shadows or the highlights and the peaks, if your skin has little anomalies, if it has little imperfections, hard light exposes those things. It makes them look more dramatic. Soft light, that's literally why they call it soft light, because it softens from highlight to shadow. The larger that light source, even the shadow side of the face will have less shadow on it because that light is wrapping around because it's so large, because it makes it around the side of them more, okay? I prefer soft lighting because it's easy. The challenge with harsh lighting is it has to be very precise. And I'm going to give you a great example of this. This is a friend of mine, Lindsay Adler. She is a sensationally good photographer. She shoots these images, and when you see them, you just go, wow, like they just explode in your face. They're like so dramatic and powerful. And she uses a lot of flash, studio work a lot, okay? But notice a couple of particular things. Everybody in her pictures are super beautiful models. Okay. They're not regular people that a lot of us take pictures of. They're models. They tend to have great, amazing skin, professional hair and makeup in all these shoots. The other challenge here is all this lighting is hyper specific. If you're off by a couple of millimeters, it doesn't work. It doesn't look right. There's very little room for error. So this is not, a bride and groom walking down the aisle shot or a quick portrait afterwards. Okay. This is not a family photo shoot that a lot of us tend to do, right? Of our friends or some paid clients, where we're trying to get 6 or 7 different setups in real time outside on location in a field somewhere. This is precise studio lighting, and it's very, very difficult to achieve. The other thing that you won't see is how much time went into editing these pictures to make their skin look like that. My photos, very minimal amount of time. These photos are professionally retouched at the highest level. So that's the challenge there. And that's the thing where people see this and go, can you show me how to do more of that? And I go, I can do that stuff, but I don't like to do it because of the amount of work it is involved in it. I did a little bit of hard light shooting early on in my career where I would had a video light and I would shoot. This is a video light shot with just a little teeny, it's like a powerful flashlight basically. And holy cow, I remember spending so much time just trying to dial in the light to the perfect spot to just get one picture. And I was like, that ain't fun. But when I use a big, huge light source, whether that's an open sky, reflected sunlight, a window, a flash, it's just easy. Like it's so much easier. And I prefer easy. Okay. I'm not a lazy photographer, but I don't want hard. Who wants to make it harder than it already is? Photography is hard enough. Okay. So let's look at it. Let's find a bunch of places to find great, amazing light with natural light. Then we're going to look at flash and how to get your flash to look amazing. Okay. So finding great natural light, what is the key? Well, you're looking at the first one. Soft indirect window light. A lot of photographers know that indirect, meaning the sun is not coming straight through the window, is a great place to take pictures. But most people fail because of the minutia, right? The small hinge that swings the big door wide open. Why does my window light photo look so bad, or this one looks so good, or this one kind of is okay? Well, if you follow a couple of simple things as a general rule, it's not hard and fast, but generalized rules, it's going to make your window light photography sensationally better. First thing is Move them about 4 to 6 feet away from the window. Why? So light in close gets dark fast. So if you're close, really close to the window, the highlights to shadows are going to drop off really, really quickly. You may have blown highlights and dark shadows right here. So move a little further away so the light tapers off a little bit slower. Okay. Step one. You don't have to do that. You can have it more dramatic by getting really close, but that's a general rule for pretty pictures like this. Okay. Rule number two is the center of the light source. So if the window is 6 feet high and you're standing at 5 feet high, the center of the light source is 3 feet high. Okay. The center of the light source is where your eyes should be. Otherwise, the light's going across the face or even up the face, but light naturally will come in the window like this. So it'll be brighter down here and darker up here. And you're like, why does the light not look good? It's because the light height is at the wrong height. So notice the bride is sitting. This was in my old house where I photographed this. It's a very tall window, about a 7 foot tall window, but I had to sit her down. Otherwise, the light was going to be dramatically dropping off around her shoulder area and kind of missing her face and the most important thing, her eyes. So once I sat her down, it looked spectacular, it looked perfect. Otherwise, I could, use a reflector to maybe fill in a little bit of the light if I needed to, if she was standing. Because I did do some standing photos, but added a touch of reflector to just fill in those shadows. Okay. So that's the key to indirect window light. Now let's look at this in a series of photos. Here's a window as the bride is walking outside from upstairs where she was getting ready. She's literally just was walking. And these three images were taken clink, 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 as she was walking down the stairs. And it happened to tell this perfect story of what lighting does. The light comes in, as you can see, at a 45-degree angle through this little window that's up at the top of the stairway, or this middle of the stairway on the camera left. She takes the first couple of steps. The light looks beautiful on her knees. But look at her face. It's that dingy, ugly, dark light. She takes another step. Now the light's kind of hitting her in the stomach there. It's getting close, but where do we need her face? Right in the center of that light source-ish. Image number 3. She becomes a new human being. Whoa, let me go back. What in God's name? Look at that. The light hits her at the right spot. The center of the light source is just above the center of the eyes. Her chin is tilted down a touch, so it becomes slightly dramatic. There's still light in the eyes, but it's, smoky dramatic. And it looks spectacular. That's the key, okay? We got to get that light in the right spot. Okay, if we're outside, soft light in the open shade is a great place. And open shade means you can see the sky, but you're in shade. What's great about that is the sky then becomes this gigantic softbox. And all the light from all the sky gets pumped at us. The mistake people make in open shade is they'll go out amongst a bunch of trees. And this is the problem. Maybe some sun is creeping through, or the sky is being blocked by something. So if you go to your subject's position and turn around in the shade and look, you should see a lot of sky. If you don't, you're going to get a lot of light just coming straight down, and you're going to get those dark, dingy eyes. If you turn them, we were right underneath some trees, but I turned the bride towards the open sky, and all this beautiful light hits her face. I took this photo, I think, 15 years ago when the flower girl came running out to see the bride, long, long time ago. And I still have never edited out my stupid assistant standing in the middle. You see him back there? Back then, it was really hard to edit stuff like that. Golden hour. This is a spectacular time to shoot. If you can time your shoots around this, great. But remember, we don't always get a beautiful sunset. Sometimes it's a cloudy day or whatever. But if we have a beautiful golden hour, that's that last hour of light, and we backlight our subjects, right? That sun's going down in the background. And then when we look behind us, so from our subject's perspective, what they're looking at is a gigantic open sky. There isn't trees or buildings or anything blocking that sun, or sorry, the sun reflecting off of the sky, pushing that big light back at them. The reason golden hour looks so good is 2 reasons. One, as the sun goes down, all that light is traveling through more atmosphere, so it softens and warms it up and makes this pretty glow. Then the light is reflecting off of the atmosphere behind us, and the whole sky behind us becomes this gigantic softbox. That's why it looks so buttery and so pretty. It's basically like using a humongous softbox in close. Look at it. I mean, it looks sensationally good. Here's two different photo shoots of me doing the exact same technique. Okay. I'm backlit to the sun in this shot, and the sun is just dipping behind that hill, as you can see. So it's getting real specular and soft and cool. And in this one, I put the tree between them, so the sun was getting that dappley light was coming through to sort of break it up and make that effect. But right behind me was a gigantic open sky, so all this pretty light is hitting them. Here's another one. This is a great one. Soft reflected sunlight. That means middle of the day maybe, but say you live in the city or somewhere where there's tall buildings or something, and light is bouncing off of something and pushing light back in. That works great as long as it's something solid. If it's not glass or steel, because that can create these little weird hot spots, bouncing light on your subject. Well, I used to shoot, and in this next picture I'll show you, downtown Nashville, and around 2:30 in the summer, 3 o'clock, as the sun just moved overhead, it would bounce off this three-story white brick school and then back towards where our studio was. And there was a couple of cool garage doors and stuff like that. So we get this beautiful light. And remember, this building was 3 stories tall across the street. So the center of the light source was above the center of the eyes. And it bounced that light back at our subjects. And it looked like this. It was just this really nice, soft, painted on glow of light on this whole side of all these buildings. So I'll walk around in the city if I'm shooting in New York, which I've done, or when I was just in Cuba, which was amazing. There's all these buildings really close together, and light will bounce off of one and push light towards the other one. So I'm looking around. Where's the light reflecting? Is there some soft, pretty light bouncing back into some area? That's a great place for me to shoot. Okay. Using a diffuser. So if you buy a reflector, like a big reflector, and you take the outside off, there's usually a diffusion panel inside. We can use that as a quick way to shoot a portrait. And I've done this many times. This is direct sunlight right here. This is direct sun. But I just have a diffuser that I'm just holding in front of that direct sun. And then what do? I angle it at a 45-degree angle so the light goes from overhead or wherever. And I turn the angle of that light so it goes right in the eyes. And in this case, I'm using what's called short lighting. So the short side of her face is lit with my sunlight diffused through that reflector, that diffusion panel. That's awesome. Here's a literal back behind the scenes shot of this. Okay. There's a little diffusion panel, turn at a 45-degree angle, diffusing the light, making sure none is hitting the background. This is in direct sun, and look how it looks. Awesome. I mean, real easy technique that I can do a quick headshot of. Now, you start getting multiple people, this becomes a challenge, right? If you don't have an assistant, this becomes a challenge. There are little stands and stuff you can use that can do this as well, though. That's pretty cool. And I'd rather have a teeny bit more gear and shoot great photos than have less gear and all this problems on the back end. So here's a little example. Like I have a stand like this. It's a little stand with a little arm on it. I can put my reflector on it and just carry it around with me. It weighs nothing, and bounce some light and shoot by myself, or diffuse some light if I need to. Here's an example now. Normally I wouldn't use an umbrella this big, but we just happen to have it with us. It was just a giant diffusion umbrella, but we put it over this model's face in Texas Skool. I was teaching there, and dropped a reflector underneath. And the reason we had that big reflector is just because that's what we had with us. Normally I'd use a small one, but it looks sensational. I mean, it looks great. Just diffusing light, bouncing a little light back with the reflector, and boom. Another reason why reflectors are so important on this particular shoot, this is maybe 15 years ago as well. The bride was in a courtyard on a sunny day, and it was too hot for her to go outside all over the place. It was literally 95 degrees. So we just sat in the courtyard briefly, but all the light, it was a courtyard like this. So no direct sun was coming in, just sky was pushing light straight down. So what happens? She gets the dark eyes. So we grab her silver reflector, put it under her chin. Now we got a beautiful bride portrait. So you can see that difference there of just adding that reflector. Okay. Okay. There's a bunch of places to find amazing natural light. Now let's look at flash. Flash will be amazing if our light is high quality. How do we get high quality? It's not so much about the flash itself, it's about the modifier. Okay. If the flash itself is consistent, fires every time you pull the trigger, if it's got enough power for the situation you need, or if it has ETTL or manual mode or whatever you prefer, then you're fine. What matters more is when that light comes out, how does it look? So if you use a speed light or any flash in general and just fire it straight at your subject, it's going to be super harsh typically. Okay. Hard to manage, hard to deal with, tough lighting. Okay. Now, if you're at a distance and you have a small, powerful light and you're using that and you're not super close to your subject, it can work great because you don't see the skin super well. It's not up close. So I've seen a lot of photographers do that. And that's actually a really smart technique because you don't need a ton of power when there's nothing sitting on the front of your flash. But for me, I typically always diffuse that light through something, and I need a quality modifier. The ones that I use pretty regularly are rapid boxes from Westcott. Now, I'm not a Westcott Top Pro anymore. Haven't been for about 5 years. I was for a decade. Um, but they make a really moderately priced, high quality, easy to use modifiers for everything from speed lights all the way up to gigantic, super high powered flashes. And the rapid box is cool because one, it's like an accordion on the inside. You just pull a little thing and it collapses down really fast, pops open. So it's very easy to open and close. And then the back of it has different uh, uh, pieces that you can put on different types of flashes. So one soft box can be used for a speed light and also for, say, a high power strobe, which is really cool. And I love that. And they work sensationally well. Here's me using a rapid box with some speed lights and the result. Like, they're great. Look at the quality of the light on her face specifically. It looks really pretty and painted on. I love that painted on effect, that buttery light. It's awesome. Okay. This is the Rapid Box XL. I have a couple of these. This is about a 39-inch Octa box, about this big. So perfect size for you. Easily fits through a doorway. You can throw it in the back of your car. You can move it around very easily, especially if you have a smaller, lighter flash system, which I'll show you what I use. And if I was buying another one today, what I'd probably buy. This is great. And everything you see from my portfolio is done with a flash like this, typically an Octabank, it's because it's got 8 sides and a 4 or 500 watt second light. This is the flash that I use almost all the time. My Chrome ELB 500. It's 500 watt seconds, so about 5 to 6 times more powerful than a speed light. And you need that because if you're shooting at 300 watt seconds, you don't want that to be your max and you're constantly waiting for it to charge up or you're running out of power. This one, I'm rarely using it at full power, even sometimes to overpower the sun. And it's pretty awesome. It's just really versatile. It's super lightweight. The battery pack weighs like 3.5 pounds total. This little head of it weighs 0.4 pounds. So it weighs almost nothing, and it's great. And it's you can use it in all weather, like even in the rain. If I was buying another one today, I'd probably buy this. This is basically everything all in one. Now, it's heavier up top because the battery's built into it, but this is 522 watt seconds. It'll fire off 450 times at full power, and it's totally portable, and you can plug it in the studio and it'll auto charge and you can shoot all day in the studio. So this is a really cool option as well. And I just love Chrome stuff. The reason I use bigger power flashes is because when you're doing stuff like this, speed lights ain't going to cut it. Not even close. So these are 2 examples of me needing to overpower really, really significant sunlight and go from this to this. And this is with big modifiers, 39-inch Octabanks, creating this kind of imagery in the camera. Here's another example of me in New York with my buddy Rich as my assistant, and using that rig. You can see him holding it and then shooting this kind of quality imagery on location. This was just recent. I did this a few weeks ago here in Tennessee for a senior portrait shoot. That was like late day, but about 2 hour and a half before sunset. So that's direct sun back there, just toned down a little bit. And you can see that ELB 500, man, just is sensational. And then I shot some really cool car shots with him. It's a very versatile light. It allows me a lot of control and a lot of power and a lot of options to do a lot of stuff. On occasion, I use my big boy rig. This is my commercial rig. This is an Electron ELB 1200, so it's 1200 watt seconds of power. It's crazy strong. The crazy thing is, it's only actually produces about one more stop of power than the ELB 500 because it's a little more than twice as powerful, which means one more stop of light. You got to have twice the power to darken the background one bit, one extra stop. But I'll use this typically on really big shoots where I have like direct sun and I need it to have a commercial look and I have a big modifier, a big like this. And like this is me competing with direct sun. And this is me shooting multiple people with a big, huge flash. So I need it to move further away. I need to feather the light off so it hits everybody correctly. This is the only time I really need a big, powerful light like this. Or if I need a lot of coverage. So this light, this is with my 70-inch Octabank, and the light is much further away, so it spreads evenly over the whole background to get this really slick commercial look. Or something like this where I have to significantly overpower the sun. But here's the key, okay? When you're talking about a flash modifier, the only thing that matters is when the light goes in the back of that modifier and comes out the front, does it come out evenly? If it comes out evenly, we've now increased the size of the flash itself from this big to this big, right? And when we do that evenly, we create that really soft light effect. Westcott has that. There's a lot of modifiers that are not so good at this, where they'll have more of a hot spot in the center. What's great about the Octabank is that light comes out and it sort of pushes around the sides and it wraps around the subject and it creates a little bit of a dead spot in the center. So the light wraps around. Sensational. Okay. There's your, places to find amazing light for today. There's a million things to learn, obviously, but what else is there? I want to briefly mention this: advanced training options. There's only one place where anything would cost something in this entire free light school, and that's that one channel that says advanced training options. What I'm going to do soon is create some opt-in waiting lists because I don't have those yet. But if you're interested in something, you can go in there and comment at the moment. But what I'm doing is a couple of simple things. One, I'm going to re-energize my in-camera workshops. Some of you guys that are on this live have been to these. This is a really great way to come for a day or two and actually practically do this with me standing there with you and learning flash or learning natural light or learning whatever the thing is that we're working on. It's really cool. It's a great experience. We can do these in Nashville, etc. Second is excursions. I just came back from Cuba and I can bring, a couple of photographers with me to go on a trip to Cuba. So I went there with Beauty of Hope. They deliver life-saving medicine to Cuban medical doctors, literally hand-delivered. So we brought 3 cases of medicine, humanitarian style, to the Baptist Medical Fellowship, dropped them off, and then I shot humanitarian photos, and then I did photos of the team leaders, and I in the old 50s cars and out by the ocean, shot all around the city, shot photos and stories to bring back to the States to tell people about what they're doing over there. Really, really amazing. So if you wanted to do an excursion, if you wanted to go to Cuba with me, if you wanted to go to, some exotic place and do a model photo shoot, and we would do that in Cuba. We would hire a Cuban model and go out in the streets. It's like every place you go is like, wow, this looks like a photo session. It's amazing. So I'm down. I'm down to take a couple of people, 2, 3, 4, 5 people at the most, on an epic, once in a lifetime excursion if somebody's interested in doing something like that. Comment on this video or hop into the advanced training options, comment, say, I want to go on an excursion, like get me on a waiting list. Cool. Last 2 things is the operator mastermind. I haven't launched this yet, but I'm going to. This is going to be for about 8 to 12 photographers that are operators that want to grow their business and be in a mastermind with me every single month. So that's going to be an option. It's going to be great. Kind of like Luke and Kat. And then one-on-one coaching. Here's another one of my coaching clients, Amy and Jordan. I helped them make like $10 million. And I've done this for many people. So if you go into advanced training option, you look under one-on-one coaching, you'll see some of my coaching clients in there. That's going to be another option that people can say yes to. I'm going to create a waiting list for that as well. And then I think that's it. Okay. So any questions from our couple of people that we have on, Don or Michael, about anything, feel free to jump in here if you've got any questions. And if you don't, no pressure if you don't have any questions. But Don, do you have any questions for me?
I don't.
I know we've been friends and worked together for quite a long time, so you've learned a lot.
I know. So I know a lot of. I laugh every time I see some of your slides and stuff because I remember these stories. But
yeah,
no, but I need to get myself back on track. I kind of got a little discouraged and, so I need to this year really focus on what I want to do. You know me, how I flip flop. So I need to get real specific and figure out exactly what I want to do because I need to do something in photography.
Yeah, I think that New Year's resolutions always feel like exciting at first, and then they kind of taper off. But I think that I've been really focused this year. Maybe this is a personal more than professional, but I've been very focused. Like last year was a tough year, a lot of challenges for me in the last year. Became a CMO of a $15 million company and quit 10 weeks in because I saw the writing on the wall that there was just too much chaos. And sure enough, it became a lot of chaos, and I'm really glad. But that created a real tough, I sold my house that I had, and that was a huge, a huge blow to lose my house.
Yeah.
And all that to say is something that I've really been focused on the last couple of weeks here that's been really beneficial has been making a decision to stop talking about all my problems and being very focused on talking about how I'm going to solve things and positive mindset thinking. And that's been super beneficial for me. I've just been using a lot of Napoleon Hill language. When I'm going to setting dates on things, making decisions, being graceful with myself if I don't get enough accomplished in one day and then go, I see I don't get anything done, and go forget that. And then being generous. How can I be generous? And so for me, this is one of the ways that I can do that. I can take all this information, content that I've learned, and just give it away for free and build value with people. And I know a small percentage of those people go, well, I want to do something. I want to go on an excursion, or I want to come to a workshop or whatever. That'd be great. So I'm excited about that, and things are going great. All these cool things are starting to happen. So I want to encourage you, Don, and anybody else that's listening to think positive, set dates, use very definitive language. And I think that's going to make a big difference for you this year. Anything from you, Michael? You still there? Nothing from Michael. Maybe.
I'm here, Zach. I'm just working.
Any questions for me?
No, I mean, if something comes up, I'll text you.
Okay, I love it. Well, I appreciate you for coming on, Don. Thank you for coming on.
Always
hit me up anytime. Give me a call sometime. Let's chat because I haven't talked to you in forever.
Will do.
Yeah, that'd be great. So thank you for everybody else that may be watching this on replay. Hopefully you guys learned some great stuff. Comment below. Let me know about timing changes. If you guys want a different time of the day, that might be better for you. And we will see you guys on the next one in 2 weeks. We will be back.
Great.
All right, Zach. Thanks a lot.
See you guys.
Bye, Dawn. Bye.